368 earthquakes since February, according to USGS. Seismic activity shows signs of recharging of Mount St. Helens volcano, and I beg to differ. It's not just 360 some odd. It's about 130 of every month, and this month alone, and I'm going to show you the PNSN earthquake, volcanic earthquake map. You can see for yourself. This past 30 days, we've had 150 earthquakes alone. Here we are at Pacific Northwest Seismic Network, PNSN, and we have the Cascadia volcanoes, Mount St. Helens, 150 in the last 30 days. Mount Hood is 10 in the last 30 days. Mount Rainier is 8. Mount Baker is 7, and Newbury is 3. Mount St. Helens, 150 in the last 30 days. And here we have Mount St. Helens. Okay, this shows the magnitude, the depth, and if we go in more, we can even see the crater. Here we are. Most of them are over the crater, as we can see. Okay. There we are. And imagery. There we are. Okay. That's it. So something's going on there. We'll take a look at the inflation to see what's happening there as well. Here we are at geodesy, and this map shows all the GPS stations all around the world. So I'll leave you a link so you can see what's happening in the area that you live in. And here we are at Mount St. Helens, and we have all these beautiful GPS stations. Let's see what they look like. What's happening with the inflation? Okay, it means that this shows us the east. If it's going down, it's going west, and north is going down, means it's going south. It's going southwest, meaning it's going southwest this way. But I didn't see the what about the inflation? Sorry, hold on. No, it's deflation there. It's deflation. Let's see something else. Closer to the crater. What's happening there? That's not a good one. Let's take another one. That's a deflation. Where's the inflation? Is there any inflation there? Okay, it's still going southwest and periodic seismicity. What about this one? No, I don't see any inflation. But there are a tremendous amount of increase of earthquakes, which is of course not good. That's basically steady. And what else? Let's take this one. Okay, that shows deflation. And I think we took this one here. Okay, that's not a good graph. And let's take this one here, across the reservoir. That's steady as well. I'll leave a link below for you for this. Mount Adams has no GPS stations. How is that possible? That's ridiculous. Why is that? Okay, that's very surprising. But anyway, this is what's happening on Mount St. Helens. So you could take a look at this graph concerning Mount St. Helens volcanic seismicity, and you can see the last 3 bars at the end on the right-hand side show the increase in seismic activity in Washington state. Hundreds of small earthquakes have been recorded on Mount St. Helens in recent months. Scientists at the United States Geological Survey, USGS, believe the increased seismic activity could indicate the volcano is undergoing a process called recharging, which is the arrival of additional magma. The USGS said 368 small earthquakes were recorded on Mount St. Helens between February 1st and June 21st, and I beg to differ. I think it's at least 1,000. Now, most earthquakes were smaller than 1 magnitude, which is too small to be felt at the surface, and occurred at the average depth of about 3.5 miles below sea level. The largest magnitude was 2 on May 31st, with a peak of 38 earthquakes recorded in 1 week in early June. On Friday, the USGS tweeted that 31 earthquakes had been recorded at Mount St. Helens in the past 7 days. Mount St. Helens Volcano is fed by magma that forms near the base of the crust at depths of about 16 miles. The USGS wrote of the recent activity, saying the magma rises slowly through the lower crust and accumulates in the reservoir about 2.5 to 6 miles below sea level. Recharge events can occur when magma enters this upper reservoir and increases the stresses that lead to earthquakes. And while the level of seismicity is up compared to the past several years, the USGS said it's still considered within the background range and does not indicate an imminent eruption. They said, we've seen surges like this in the past, and it's part of our understanding of an active volcanic system, and there are ebbs and flows with seismicity. USGS seismologist Seth Moran explains to KOMO News, saying overall it's something that reflects that Mount St. Helens volcano, geologically speaking, is a very active volcano. The most recent eruption took place from 2004 to 2008 and allowed scientists to learn more about how the volcano works and also helped researchers develop new monitoring tools. A day or two before this eruption began, Moran said scientists recorded 1 earthquake per minute, which is a significant difference in the earthquake rate from what is currently being recorded. Moran told KOMO News that the recharge could look like 2 different things, one of which is new batches of magma coming into the mid to upper crust, which is causing the earthquakes. Another possibility, Moran said, is that the whole system is under general pressure and the magma left over from the previous eruption is cooling and releasing gas, which in itself can pressurize the system and lead to these earthquakes. Eventually, that pressure is great enough that it can help whatever is left behind come out, which could have been what happened in 2004, Moran said, and that was maybe residual magma from 1980 that was not coming out. Then it got left behind and it's kind of cooled, and some gas came out of it and was able to help break the surface, and then some of that leftover magma came out. Mount St. Helens volcano is one of the best monitored volcanoes in the world. So Moran said the researchers were able to see the really very small events of the active volcanic system and the small earthquakes that occurred beneath the volcano, the mountain. Essentially, what we have is a blood pressure cuff constantly on Mount St. Helens, and we take her pulse continuously, Moran explained. So whenever there's any kind of deviation in that, that's when we really start paying attention and start wondering what could be going on. And I'm still confused why they don't have any GPS stations at Mount Adams. USGS has told us that the Cascade volcanoes are very high threat volcanoes, so obviously they need to put GPS on Mount Adams to monitor that as well. Now, the USGS said increased rates of seismicity, which have been interpreted as recharge, have been observed at Mount St. Helens volcano in the past. This activity can continue for years without an explosion occurring. They said we don't have the ability to actually go down to the ground and see what's going on. So what we're really doing is concluding that earthquakes are the symptom. If you want to take it into the realm of doctors, earthquakes are the symptom and the diagnosis is, oh, this is consistent with the recharging volcano, Moran said. During a quarter that began in mid-July last year, more than 400 earthquakes were recorded, and they stayed on Mount St. Helens, and most of these earthquakes were less than 1 magnitude and were also too small to be felt on the surface, while earthquake clusters also occurred, swarms that is, in the late 1980s and early 1990s at Mount St. Helens. At Mount St. Helens, none led directly to volcanic eruptions. This is from Como News. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support. and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.